Look at your neighbor and say, take notes. Yes. Now look back at that same person and say, because you really need help. All right. How many of you have had a best day ever before? Yes, I'm seeing a lot of heads nod. How about a worst day ever? We've had those too. I want you to flash all the way back. For me, my kids say it's the 1900s. Who did you want to be? What did you want to become? I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And within no time, I realized that wasn't going to happen. And my next goal was to grow 24 inches. And I realized that wasn't going to happen. I just wanted to scout or coach at a high level of basketball, the NCAA level, the NBA level, whatever it is. And I was well on my way. I was a coordinator of basketball operations at Marquette University after a short stint as a video scout with the Milwaukee Bucks. And it was 2006, and we were in the NCAA tournament against Alabama. We were down by 3 points. Steve Novak, number 20, would normally make this three-point shot in the corner in his sleep. Well, that night he missed it, and our season was over just like that. Fast forward about a month, and we were getting ready for our men's basketball banquet. Our head coach, Tom Crean, walked into the men's basketball office. I was over here in a really dark, boring video room cutting up film. And he walks in with his flip phone. He looks up. He says, hey, Derek, I want you to give out an award tonight. The Hit the Deck Award for Joe Chapman, who was one of our players. And I said, yeah, Coach, I got you. And he just kept running back to his office with his flip phone. Little did Coach Crean know that I was deathly terrified of doing anything in front of groups. So I sat in that video room freaking out. And on the wall behind me, there was VHS tapes. Does anybody remember those? Right after the Jurassic period and just before the TikTok period. So if you've never experienced flip phones or VHS tapes, we're already learning today. And out of all things, I'm looking for men's basketball banquet tapes. I'm not looking for basketball film to see exactly what those coaches gave out when they gave out that award. Fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind. I find those moments. I memorize it word for word, put it in my pocket like a 3x5 card. The banquet happens. I'm sitting out here just like you in the audience, freaking out. At 7:52 p.m. sharp, my name gets called up to go to the front. And I'm at this real serious podium. I mean, just look at me. Look at the death grip I have on that podium. You need a crowbar to pry my hand off that. I forgot everything I was going to say. I forgot what I had in my pocket. And I just shook my head, turned to Joe, and just said, and the award goes to Joe Chapman. And I walked back to my table, and I wanted to crawl in a hole and never face any of my peers ever again. For me, that was my deepest crash professionally. And I want you to think about, what was your deepest crash? Who were you with? What were you doing? Where were you? Why and how did that crash happen? Let's flip to a best day ever for a moment. I want you to think about, what stage of life are you currently in right now? For me, I'm at the stage of life where my parents are grandparents. I get to see holidays through my kids' eyes, and they're way more fun that way. I'm at the stage where Rachel, my spouse, and I are truly learning and growing together and becoming one. I'm at the stage where older people tell me every single day, you're going to miss these days, even though I already know it to be true. No matter what stage of life you're in, it can be beautiful, can it? But man, it's hard. We ask people how they're doing. I'm good, but I'm so stressed. I'm good, but I'm so busy. I'm pretty good, but I need better work-life balance. So back in the day, I was obsessed with Google search engine hits. So I put in work-life balance about 11 years ago. And what came up was about 50 million hits on work-life balance, which means people are looking for ways to solve the issue. Fast forward to today, and there are over 6 billion hits on work-life balance right now. So people are continuing to find it. So is that what we're looking for or not, or is it something else? So I also read some research from Just Scout that says we touch our phones on average 2,641 times a day, average user. The top 10% touch their phones over 5,000 times a day. And if you're a single guy on Tinder, can you think about how many times you're touching your phone? When I was running an athletic club, I was sitting there. My daughter was in the swimming pool. Her name is Mia. She was about 5 at the time. And you get to be kids right now. You're all in the pool. I'm a parent right now. I'm on the outside of the pool. And our maintenance technician runs through, and he says, Derek, look up. What do you see? I look up. I really don't see anything. He says, no, Derek, look up. What do you see? I said, Jeff, just tell me what you see. I just see kids out there swimming right now. He said, look around the pool. I looked around the pool. Not one parent was watching their kids swim. All 45 parents has their head buried in their phones, not even pay attention to their kids. And I said, thank you so much, Jeff. I definitely have to change my behavior. I'll do something better next time. Fast forward a week, it was Saturday, and I'm at the park. My oldest daughter, Ellie, is going all over the place on her own, and my youngest daughter, Mia, is swinging. And I'm pushing her, and I remember doing the underdogs and going under her, and then I just catch myself just doing this, completely disengaging to anything that was happening in front of me. And on that Saturday, I caught myself and I grabbed my kids. I said, tomorrow we're going to do something. It's a daddy-daughter day. It's going to be 100% your agenda. Anything that you all want to do. So we wrote a huge list, woke up Sunday morning. Church wasn't one of those things. So we did our daddy-daughter day. And we started with American Girl dolls and Legos. We went to the gym and did some kickboxing. We wound down and did some yoga. We did a lot of awesome things. We also did makeover. And the makeover ended up being an annual tradition. And this was the one 3 years later, and these are not Snapchat filters at all. And they said, we can do one more thing. What do you want to do? We don't watch a movie, Barbie in the Dream House. We've already watched it 100 times. Okay, let's watch this thing, Barbie in the Dream House. We don't just want to watch it in the basement. We want you to go to the athletic club, get the projector, and shine it on the wall in the basement. You can see how cool my basement is right here. About 10 minutes into the movie, my youngest daughter, Mia, was out like a light. My oldest daughter, Ellie, had her eyes cracked open just a little bit, and she stared me right into the eye and said, Daddy, that was the best day ever. And because it was her best day ever, it became my best day ever. And I want you to think about, what was your best day ever? Who were you with? What were you doing? Where were you? Why did it happen? How did it happen? And I have no idea what your best day ever was at all. But I do know that you were laser focused and present and in the moment with whatever you were doing that day. I like to refer to this as work-life focus, being all in on whatever you're doing versus feeling the guilt of work-life balance and trying to juggle everything in our lives. So we all have our best days. We all have our worst days. And those best days and worst days help me form how I see leadership today. I think leadership lives between and in that pinch of what we do. I believe that if you can lead yourself and you can lead others, you can become a leader other people would like to follow or even love to follow. Starting with self-leadership. I define self-leadership as working to help become the best version of yourself. Bringing your authentic self to work every single day. People want to follow you. I define leading others as working to help other people become the best version of themselves. Small, tiny actions, big impact. On the self-leadership side, I go through a manual stick shift process. Anybody still have a manual stick shift at all out there? Couple hands go up. You have to shift through the gears, working through your core values to make sure you align with your company's core values. Being intentional about where you're committing your personal development, personal growth. Knowing what your goals and visions are, executing, using the right habits. And when you do those things, you can live that work-life focused life. All rise, for real, all rise. Push in your chair just for a moment. I want you to face a partner. I'm not going to ask you to do anything too crazy. Face your partner, make sure your chair is pushed in. If you have a group of 3, that's okay. You can face a couple people in your group. Part of leadership is wellness. Exercise is the number one way to boost brain power. So you're going to do synchronized partner squats for just 20 seconds. Don't split your pants. Ready? Go. All right. Everybody can have a seat. Everybody can have a seat. Recharging our battery, the best thing we can give other people a lot of times is our energy. So making sure we're taking care of ourselves as leaders is a part of self-leadership. Moving to people leadership, working to help other people through small, tiny actions. Let's just touch on everyday simplicity for a moment. I once put this into Google, my manager is. Can you imagine what comes up on this? I mean, look at this. It's crazy. Everything is pretty much negative here. Supportive is good. Hot is good for the most part, right? And then the next one, my manager's holding me back. Micromanagers can do that. I've heard micromanagers called boss holes before. Nobody wants to work for them. Meet my boss, my former boss, Keith Niger, and he started the Wisconsin Athletic Club in 1976. And I remember he gave me an article to read the Wall Street Journals, a new strategy. I'm like, okay, cool, we're going to change our entire company at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. It was about Ryanair, Europeans' largest budget airline. And I started to read it and just wait for this strategy. All right, here it is. It's groundbreaking. Be nice to customers. And the president and CEO went on to say, if we would have only known this sooner, we would have a lot more profitability and success as an airline. What's your version of be nice to customers? For 13 years, I had this just beat into my head, and I was so annoyed at how obnoxious it was all the time. But what I learned through this and these repetitive behaviors is that the simple things make the intangible difference. Let's take fun for a moment. This is my dad. He can fix everything. Handyman, I break everything. So I moved across the country from Marquette to the University of Utah because I had to get over that crash and I didn't want to face my peers at Marquette. 22 hours across the country. Did that for 1 year and wanted to move and get out of that as well. So who'd I call? My dad to help me pack up the pods. And I remember my dad packed everything perfectly, and then we got on our 20-hour ride back home. And he said, this is fun every single hour. Have you ever driven through Wyoming before? And I finally realized my dad kept saying this is fun because it was quality time with me. No distractions at all. Work-life focus. As I close, I want you to just check out my mentor here, Deb. Deb worked about half her career in corporate America and half her career in group fitness. And Deb said she learned more about leadership from group fitness classes than anywhere else. And I said, that's intriguing. Tell me what you mean by that. She said, you know, when you go into a group fitness class, you have the front row. The people that are so excited and pumped up to be there, they almost want to replace you and take your job really soon. And then you have the middle row. The middle row just got there a little late because they had dropped their kids off or whatever. And then you have the back row. I mean, look at Lady in Red up here. If I don't connect with Lady in Red in an industry that we're asking people to pay for something that 95% of people hate to do, she's gone and she's never coming back. She's on to her new thing. And then Deb said, you know, what about the people that are actually not yet in the room? The people that are lifting weights on their own. They're on the treadmill on their own. They're bubble members. They don't want to be with anybody. She said the best everyday leaders are the people that are like walking outside of the rooms, finding the leaders of the people that aren't just jumping around and waving their arms all the time. The quiet, humble people that are making a difference each and every single day. And she said the best everyday leaders live by 7 magic words. I see you, and I believe in you. I had an absolute blast hanging out with you this morning, and I will stick around until I number each and every one of you. Thank you so much.